All right, guys, well, today we're going to do something different. I have 2 bags of sterling silver right here. These are all junk sterling silver that I picked up at less than melt price, which I'm excited about. We have 20.47 ounces in this bag, 20.45 ounces in this bag. I bought 40 ounces. They came out to a little bit heavier than that, which I am not upset about. And what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to actually take those and melt them down and turn them into silver bars, like big silver bars, and then we're going to customize them with some really cool designs on each side as we stamp them with the weight, the purity, so on and so forth. Now, to accomplish this, I will be using my 2 Auto furnace. Now, this is a brand new one that 2 Auto sent me. Thank you to 2 Auto. And no, I'm not sponsored by them, but I will be full disclosure in the fact that they did send me this furnace. And if you guys are interested in getting your own furnace, I will put a link for it down below. I have actually not used this furnace yet. So as you can see, it is brand new. Today will be my first run of it, but I've used other 2 Auto furnaces in the past and they've always been great. And then of course, we're gonna customize it, putting some really cool designs on each side of the bar. And we'll do it using my Commarker B6. Now this is a 30-watt fiber laser, and I'll be using it to actually engrave directly into metal. And the beautiful thing about fiber lasers is they can actually go deep into the metal, with one unfortunate caveat that it will actually remove some of the silver doing so. So you don't want to go too deep because you don't want to lose a bunch of silver. It will literally turn it into dust and exhaust it right out of this port. Now the first thing we need to do is get our silver here to fit inside of our crucible. We'll set this one to the side and we'll start with this one. I got some cutters here to actually cut some of the silver down so it fits where it needs to go. And yes, all of this is junk. None of it is, anything special or rare. It's just all junk, silver, old, chains and link chains, and a bracelet with somebody's name on it, so on and so forth. And this is our crucible. It's actually pretty small, and it's probably not going to fit all of the silver in there at once. So what we'll need to actually do is cut it, fit as much as we can in there, and then start melting it. And then as it melts down, we'll be able to put the rest in there. But you will easily be able to get the full 20 ounces inside of the crucible. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get it all in there and melted down. Let's start cutting. Real fast, I wanted to tell you about my new channel called Seeker Custom Silver. Not just videos like this are going to be over there, but also like mystery pack videos and anything that's more of the fun side of silver that a lot of people on this channel don't necessarily like. But if you like things like that, if you like silver pouring, if you like more mystery packs and stuff like that, I will start utilizing this new channel to upload more of those videos. They will still occasionally appear here, but most of them will be over there. So make sure you subscribe now and don't miss out on my very first video over on Seeker Custom Silver. Another year, another monster box of silver. For 2024, SD Bullion is giving away a full monster box of their 1-ounce silver Tree of Life coins. You can enter this giveaway all year, but I suggest that you do it now by going to sdbullion.com/sweepstakes and make sure you enter today. Thank you to SD Bullion for sponsoring my channel. All right, so we are about as much as we're gonna get in there without really possibly, doing some damage to myself by cutting myself to cut these down. So we're gonna let this melt and put it into our 2 Auto furnace. All right, so now that it's in the furnace, let's get it turned on. This is the first time I've turned it on. You can see it's at 1200 Celsius. And let me figure out how to turn it down, because sterling only melts at like just under 900 degrees. So let's see here. Okay, all right, here we go. So we're gonna set it to 1100. We want it to be quite a bit hotter than the 900 so it pours out really easily. 1100 seems good to me. So it's time to let this heat up, and then when it starts melting, we'll add more silver. All right, so the mold we're gonna be using is simple. It's just a 20-ounce bar mold. This gets about, I think it can go over 20 ounces, but it's perfect for a 20-ounce silver pour. Now, obviously, and keep in mind, I'm not a professional, so please, if you're ever gonna do this on your own, get professional training and know exactly what you're doing, because there's a lot of things that could go wrong here. I could burn myself by getting metal splattered on me. I could burn my entire house down. So make sure that you don't follow this video as a tutorial. This is just me showing you for entertainment and entertainment alone. But with these molds, the biggest thing you want to do is make sure they are scalding hot. You do not want to pour into a cold mold, because if there's any moisture inside of this mold, it's going to try and escape through the silver and cause the silver or whatever metal you're pouring in there to pop up and, damage you, if you will, injure you in some way. So We're going to use my blowtorch here. We're going to get this thing nice and hot. And our furnace is hitting 900 degrees, so very soon we're going to be able to go ahead and start adding some silver. All right, so I decided to go ahead and set the furnace to 1150 just so it would melt a little bit faster when we add the silver, and you can see it's up to temp. And if you notice, I have my gloves on now. If you take a look inside, you can see our silver is completely melted down. So let's add some more silver. Start with this big guy. And you can see that melts down pretty quickly. I'm hoping that the GoPro can see that. I don't want it directly over. All right, so you can see it's melting down pretty quickly. So we'll go ahead and add some more. And we'll do the rest of this chain here. All right, we'll let that melt down in there. All right, so all of our silver is in there. We're gonna go ahead and close this up and let that stuff melt down. It'll probably take just a minute. And while we're doing that, we're gonna get our mold completely heated up. So we're gonna sit it right here on top where all this heat's coming out, just right next to the hole, because you don't want the exhaust to go, or to be blocked. But that'll help heat it up. And then when we're ready to pour it, we'll pull the mold back onto the stone. We'll heat it up really, really hot. And then we will start pouring the silver into the bar. All right, guys, so we had just taken this off and it is nice and hot. I've been blowtorching it here for a minute. And we are ready to pour. Our silver is 100% melted. Now, I do not like the way sterling silver pours, so we're going to try and do this quickly so it comes out not too horribly, and try to keep any slag off the top. There it goes. Pour it out, 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 pour it out. All right, we're going to stop there. So we're going to lose a little bit of weight because I don't want that to stick to the top of the bar. I learned this about pouring sterling silver a long time ago, that this little bit right here, you get on top of the bar, then it's stuck. And as you can see, we have an interesting look to the top of our bar here as it slowly cools down. I'll probably drop it out now. It should be solid. All right, I do like how the bottom turned out. And it's time to quench it. So here we go. Listen to this. Get that in there as well. All right, so even though it's done quenching, it's still going to be pretty hot. So we're going to let that cool for a minute. And while that's cooling, I'm going to load up for our second bar. So let's do it. All right, so we're going to pause it here really quick before you see the results of these pours. And I just want to be clear that I am not a professional. I do not pour sterling silver very often. And for some reason, it seems to solidify way faster than 999 fine silver. So whenever I pour 999 fine silver, it comes out beautiful. These sterling bars always come out, you know, like they just weren't hot enough, even though the melting point of sterling is only 900 degrees. So it's something I'm working on, and hopefully in the future I'm better at pouring sterling. And if you guys have any tips, leave them in the comments. But don't make too much fun of me for these bars. I do pour silver quite often, but sterling not so much, and it's always so much different. All right, so I'm going to finish heating up this mold. It is pretty much ready to go. I've been blowtorching it for just a minute. You can see we have our first bar sitting out already. I dried it off. It weighs a little bit less than 20 ounces because of that extra slack that we didn't put on top of it. That's not a big deal. We will mark it with how it weighs. It's a very interesting look. We're going to try and pour this one just a little bit faster to see if we can get a little bit better look on the top of the bar, though. Let's do it. Alrighty, here we go. Quick pour, quick pour. Here we go. Pour it quick. Yeah, just get in there, get in there. Oh boy, you saw that come out like that? That chunk? Maybe it wasn't 100% melted. There's our slag, or whatever they call it. I'm not a professional at this. I'm learning. But that was interesting how we had a little chunk come out, almost like we needed to give it another minute. But it looks fine. Let me get it out of the mold here. Looks okay. It has kind of a shiny spot on top like the other one does. And yeah, interesting. Okay, into the quench it goes. think the water was a little bit hotter at the start of this one, so it took a little bit longer for it to quench. All right, so both of the bars are poured, and you can see they're looking really dark, which is very typical for sterling, at least that I've seen it. Again, I'm not an expert at this by any means, but they both have silvery flat spots on the bottom here. Let's go ahead and weigh them. So I believe this is the first bar we poured. You can see it comes out to 19.76 ounces, and then this one comes out to 20.195. We had some leftover slag from both of these, and you know, I just put that aside for later, who knows. But after, you know, taking that out, we still have basically two 20-ounce silver bars, but they are kind of ugly right now, and we're going to start cleaning them up first with a wire brush. I actually have a wheel version of this. I don't know where it is. I'm sure I'll find it as soon as I'm done recording this video. But we will use this for today. As always, safety glasses on. Whenever you're spinning stuff and spitting stuff everywhere, you want to make sure you are protected. And here we go. And you can see really quick, it didn't take long to reveal the silver, sterling silver color of this beautiful bar. So this is gonna look really nice when we're done and be a very unique pattern because of the way this sterling poured. Let's go ahead and clean it all up and then show you how they look afterwards. All right, so the second bar came out a little bit nicer, I think. You know, it didn't have like the pitting at the top from, you know, running it under the brush. The brush literally tore a little chunk off here, which I was able to pick up. Whereas it didn't do it with this one at all. I think this one just looks a little bit better. A very unique looking bar for sure. Now we have these two flat surfaces here, which will be perfect for doing a design under the laser. And I'm going to try and do something on the sides here as well. We'll see how well that works given the way that the bars came out. And it's very possible in the future I will just remelt and re-pour this bar to see if I get lucky. Looks like a ghost monkey right there, doesn't it? You got the ear over here and two eyes, and it's kind of a divot popping out for the nose and a huge mouth, right? Kind of interesting. But anyway, let's get some cool designs on the back of these bars using our Commarker B6. All right, so I have the design we're going to use loaded up in Lightburn, and you can see it's a dragon and an eagle with my logo here in the center. Then we have 19.7 ounces. This is actually 19.755, but we're going to call it 19.7 just to be safe because we're going to burn off a little silver here. And then we got 925 sterling silver, and then this is ST bar -01, so sterling silver bar 01. So this is the image we're gonna burn, but before we actually burn it onto the silver, I wanna see how it comes out using one of these black business cards. So we'll do a quick burn onto this just to see how it's gonna look, kind of, on the silver. All right, so we have the design loaded up on our Commarker on Lightburn. We're gonna go ahead and focus this, and the Commarker B6 has this really awesome autofocus functionality. This is the first laser I have that has this. I just hit the auto button and you can see it focuses the laser right onto it. It's actually lowering a little bit. Then we're going to go ahead and frame it. Perfect. So I don't need it to be perfectly centered. This is just as an example, but it is ready to go. Let's go ahead and do it. Here we go. All right, and I think, yeah, that's gonna look really cool if we get that to burn onto the bar properly, if we get it to burn like a darker image onto the bar. That looks great. Okay, let's go ahead and do this on the bar itself and see what we get. So we'll get the bar inside the laser, we'll go ahead and focus it. There we go. You can see the Commarker is lifting, I should say, I was gonna say lasering, it's lifting to focus on the bar here. Perfect. And then we need to get it the right size. So this is 100 millimeters by 32 millimeters. So we'll size it up here on Lightburn. And let's go ahead and frame it. All right, so you can see right there, that's what we're looking for. So let's get the settings right for silver because it was set up for that black business card. Let's do it for silver really quick and then start the burn. And here we go. All right, so I went ahead and did 2 passes. The bar is definitely hot. Oh man, that looks awesome. if a little thick on the lettering. Let's take a look at it up close under our 4K camera. That looks awesome. Holy smokes. I just love, and this was so quick. Like, I sped it up obviously for the video, but 2 passes only took a few minutes. I want to say less than 5, and that's for both passes. But you can see we have our serial number, we have 0.925 sterling silver and 19.70 ounces. And that just came out so great, and it is, you can feel it. It is pretty deeply engraved with just 2 passes. And the first pass I did, by the way, was 117 millimeters per second at 100% power. The second pass I did was 75 millimeters per second at 100% power, and I think both times the frequency was set to 25. If anyone's wondering what I used for the settings for engraving. But man, that looks so cool. So I think what I'm gonna do now is get something on the sides here, see what I can do. I don't know if I'll be able to do the top and bottom. And then maybe I'll do a quick cleaning pass on this edge right here. So a very fast pass to go along it, just to kind of get down into the crevices and see how it looks. I don't know, I haven't decided, but let's see how this turns out when we're done. So far, this is awesome. All right, so here are the bars. Let me show you what we got going on. So this is the second bar that we poured, and I didn't do anything to it. We're gonna re-pour this bar. I did not like the way that this turned out up here. And so in a future video, I will remelt and re-pour this bar. We're not gonna do it today. This bar, on the other hand, turned out awesome. So you see it has like a darker look up here than this one. That's because I did do one cleaning pass with the Commarker, and I thought it gave it like an antique look, which was really awesome. But if you look here, you can see we have Silver Seeker and a dragon on each side of the bar. So that's what I did for the sides of the bar. I didn't do anything up here. I probably could have put something, but I figured why? It's not necessary. You can see there's, you know, some stuff going on there, so whatever. On the back, of course, you already know how this looks. Really, really cool. Now, one thing I'll tell you, you know, I showed you the Commarker B6. That was actually sent to me as well by Commarker. I love that laser. Now, I'm not being paid by Commarker. They didn't send me a dime. They did, however, send me the laser to use to do things like this. So they didn't ask me to say anything. They didn't ask me to give it a positive review. They didn't tell me anything to say. They just said, here, if you want to use it in your videos, we would love for you to use it in your video. So they did send it to me, full disclosure. But again, I'm not being paid, and I can say whatever I want. And what I'm going to say is that laser is awesome. This design right here on my Laser Pecker 4, which is what I've been using until I got a fiber laser, would have taken 45 minutes, maybe longer. Right here, I did 2 passes, and you can see how dark that is. I did 2 passes in less than 5 minutes. These sides took like a minute per side. It was crazy fast. It was probably quicker. So this is really cool how quickly I can laser engrave now. Again, this would have been something, it would have taken me forever to do this on the old infrared laser, Laser Pecker 4 that I was using. So I'm really glad I have a laser that can do something like this and do it so quickly and do it so well. This is awesome. And then of course I poured it with the 2-auto tool, which same thing, they did send to me and asked if next time I do a pour, if you want to use this, we would love to send it to you. And I said, of course, but again, they're not paying me. And again, you know, I can say whatever I want. They did not tell me what to say. They didn't say a single word. So very cool. I like both of those, and I love how this turned out. Guys, let me know what you think with a comment down below. And like I said earlier, I am going to be starting that crafting channel, so if you guys are into things like this, make sure you subscribe to it. I'm going to put a link. I'd really appreciate to see you over there, because I know not everybody watching this channel likes seeing me do crafting stuff, 3D printing and laser engraving and silver pouring. But if you are into this kind of stuff, if you are into custom silver, which is what I do primarily, is custom things with silver, make sure you check out that channel and subscribe. All right, guys, really appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know, and we will see you next time.